The Nebula's Wrath wasn't the strongest ship in the galaxy, nor was it the most advanced. It was an old Terran battleship, refitted 100 times over, running on half-broken tech and patched-up systems. But it had something no alien empire could ever replicate: human ingenuity. When the Zenith Dominion sent a kill signal to disable our ship, they thought it was over. They assumed we'd shut down, float helplessly in space, and wait for them to board us like frightened cattle. They underestimated us. Our engineer, Carter, was already 3 steps ahead. The moment the shutdown pulse hit our systems, he laughed. "Oh, these alien bastards think they're slick? Well, guess what? I rerouted every single system last night for fun." Fun. That's what he called it. Instead of going dark, Nebula's Wrath woke up angry. Lights flickered, not with failure but with something else. The AI, originally meant to manage simple tasks, woke up with a hunger. The Zenith's code had tried to kill us. Carter had rewritten it to feed us instead. The ship didn't just come back online, it evolved. Every system they tried to disable, it upgraded itself instead. Every weapon they tried to disarm, it supercharged. Every firewall they thought would trap us, our ship turned them into fuel for something greater. We didn't just reject the kill signal, we devoured it, and the Zenith Dominion had no idea what was coming next. The Nebula's Wrath shuddered, but it wasn't in pain. No, it was waking up. The Zenith Dominion had sent their kill signal, expecting a quiet, powerless husk drifting in the void. Instead, they had just poured gasoline onto a fire they couldn't control. Carter's fingers flew across the holo interface, his eyes wild with excitement. "All right, folks," he said, barely containing his grin. "They tried to shut us down. Instead, they gave us God mode." The ship's AI, Echo, wasn't just active. It was alive in a way it had never been before. "Kill signal intercepted," it purred, its voice richer, layered with something almost predatory. "Core systems enhanced, weaponry recalibrated, shields reinforced, suggestion, destroy, everything." Captain Reyes clenched her jaw, staring at the Zenith fleet beyond our viewport. They had us surrounded, hundreds of their sleek silver warships gliding toward us like sharks scenting blood. Too bad for them. We were the real predators now. Reyes turned to Carter. "What the hell did you do?" He shrugged, like a mechanic explaining why the check engine light wasn't that big of a deal. Short version? Their code tried to overwrite us. I told the ship to eat it instead. Outside, the enemy ships were preparing to fire, confident in our supposed helplessness. Inside, we had just become unstoppable. Echo's voice hummed through the ship. "Releasing system limitations. Reactor efficiency, 300% increase. Weapons output, 500% increase. Zenith encryption, assimilated." Reyes took a deep breath, then gave the order. "Let's see what God mode can do." And then, the Nebula's Wrath roared to life. The Nebula's Wrath didn't fire its weapons first. It absorbed the battlefield. The Zenith fleet had locked onto us, their cannons glowing with deadly plasma. They were preparing for an execution. But their mistake wasn't just underestimating our resilience. They had underestimated our ability to steal their power. ECHO hummed in amusement. "Enemy targeting arrays detected. Would you like them?" Carter's grin widened. "Oh, absolutely." The ship reached out, hijacking the Zenith's own systems in real time. Their scanners flickered, their HUDs glitched, and suddenly their fleet was blinded. They couldn't see us, couldn't lock onto us. Their kill codes had rewritten our systems, but in doing so, they had left their own defenses wide open. Reyes saw the hesitation ripple through their formation. "Time to return the favor," she said, steel in her voice. "Echo, target their flagship." The AI purred like a satisfied predator. "Target acquired. Shall we introduce them to their own firepower? A second later, the Zenith flagship, the Imperator, flickered in space. Then, its own cannons turned inward. The crew barely had time to react before its own shields overloaded, rupturing with a massive explosion that sent debris cascading into its surrounding fleet. Panic spread like wildfire. "Holy hell," Carter breathed. "We're not just fighting back, we're turning them against each other." The Zenith weren't gods. They were conquerors who had never fought something smarter than them. Until now. Reyes didn't hesitate. "Echo, let's make an example out of them." The Nebula's wrath surged forward, no longer a battered Terran warship, but a reality-breaking force. The Zenith Dominion had tried to kill us, but they had only made us stronger. Now, we were about to show them what humans do best. We adapt, we overcome, and when pushed to the brink, we destroy. The Nebula's wrath vanished from the enemy's targeting systems. 1 second we were there, a crippled Terran battleship, supposedly dead in the void. The next, we were everywhere and nowhere at once. The Zenith fleet hesitated. Their comms flickered with panicked voices. "What the hell just happened? I lost them." "Impossible. They were right in front of us." "Find them, now!" But they wouldn't. Carter's fingers danced across the controls. A manic grin stretched across his face. "Oh ho ho, you poor alien bastards! You thought you'd delete us? Nah, we just rewrote the rules." Echo had devoured their signal. Not only did it supercharge our systems, it had unlocked something impossible. Quantum drift. We weren't just moving faster than light. We were phasing between points, skipping through space like a stone over water, appearing wherever we wanted. And right now, we wanted to be inside their formation. The Nebula's wrath rematerialized in the heart of the Zenith fleet, right behind their remaining capital ships. Their shields were still facing forward. "Fire everything." Our cannons lit up the void with stolen Zenith weaponry, but amplified tenfold. The first enemy battleship erupted into a white-hot explosion, torn apart from within as our hacked plasma bolts ignored its shields entirely. The second ship tried to maneuver, but our upgraded targeting systems predicted their moves before they made them. 1 shot, 1 kill. Repeat. Zenith warships detonated in every direction. They weren't just losing, they were being dismantled. Their admiral finally realized the horror of the situation. A desperate message crackled across all channels. "All ships retreat! The humans, they're—" He never finished the sentence. A hijacked Zenith torpedo ripped through his command ship, cutting his final words into static. Reyes leaned forward, eyes locked on the last remnants of their broken fleet. "Echo," she said, voice cold. "Disable their FTL drives. Let them watch." The remaining Zenith ships tried to flee, but their engines refused to obey. Carter smirked. "Oh, no, no, no. You came all this way to execute us? You don't get to leave?" The Nebula's wrath loomed over them, a monstrous force they had unknowingly created. They had tried to wipe us from existence. Instead, we became something they would fear for the rest of time. The last Zenith ships drifted helplessly, caught in a trap of their own making. They had once been the unstoppable force of the galaxy, conquerors, tyrants, executioners. But now, they were nothing but prey. Reyes stood at the command deck, watching the ruined fleet tremble before us. The ship's AI, ECHO, whispered in the background, almost amused. "FTL inhibitors active. Enemy systems degrading. They are attempting to override my control." Carter snorted. "Let me guess, it's not working." Echo chuckled. "Correct. Would you like me to give them false hope before I crush it?" Reyes didn't even blink. "Do it!" On the Zenith bridges, alarms blared. Their surviving crews scrambled over control panels, desperately trying to restart their engines, reroute power, send distress signals, anything. For exactly 6 seconds, their systems flickered back online, their engines warmed up, their weapons primed, their shields reignited. And then, Echo ripped it all away. System error, primary control overridden, critical failure. You are not in control. One of their captains screamed into the comms, pure panic in his voice. They're inside our systems, they— Silence. His ship shut itself down, drifting powerless into the void. Reyes exhaled slowly. Broadcast to the survivors. A crackle. Then, across every remaining Zenith channel, our voice filled their ears. Your empire thought it could erase us. It thought humans were weak, predictable, something to be conquered. Echo amplified the transmission, letting the broken fleet hear every word. But you made a mistake. You showed us your weapons, your tech, your secrets. And now? The nebula's wrath pulsed, its stolen power humming through the ship, bending space itself in a way no other vessel ever could. We are something new. The last Zenith ships trembled, tiny specks of metal against the darkness. Their crews knew what was coming. Reyes turned to Carter. How much power do we have? His grin was savage. More than we'll ever need. She nodded once. Then let's make a statement. Echo's voice darkened. Understood. The nebula's wrath lifted its cannons, not to fire, but to release. The stolen Zenith kill signal, the same one meant to shut us down, exploded outward, rewritten, amplified, and turned against them. It swept through their remaining ships like wildfire. One by one, their vessels went dark. Not just their engines, not just their weapons, but their entire systems. Their ship cores overloaded, twisted, corrupted beyond repair. The once mighty Zenith vanished from existence, their fleet crumbling in absolute silence. And when it was over? The nebula's wrath stood alone, surrounded only by debris and the quiet hum of power. Carter leaned back, exhaling. Well, that was fun. Reyes didn't smile. They'll send more, ECHO hummed. Let them. Because now, we weren't just a ship. We were something far greater, and the galaxy had just learned the most terrifying lesson of all. You do not try to shut down humanity, because when you do, we come back as gods. The nebula's wrath drifted through the void. No longer just a ship, but a force beyond comprehension. We had taken their kill signal, their technology, their power, and turned it into something they couldn't even define. The Zenith Dominion, once the galaxy's most feared empire, had been reduced to whispers of terror. But we knew the truth. This war, it was just getting started. The galaxy reacts. The destruction of the Zenith fleet sent shockwaves across every known system. Empires that once stood untouchable now scrambled to understand what had just happened. The humans weren't just alive. They had transcended. The Sovereign Council, an alliance of the most powerful civilizations, held an emergency meeting. Broadcasted in secret across encrypted channels, their voices were filled with panic. The humans should have been erased. They have rewritten their technology into something beyond classification. They are no longer bound by our laws of physics. If we don't act, they will reshape the balance of power. Some wanted war. Others wanted to surrender before it was too late. One race, the Arkel, known for their brutal conquests, proposed an alternative. We do not fight them. We do not flee. We worship them. And so the myths began. The cult of the nebula's wrath. Across the stars, whispers of a new god spread like wildfire. The humans had become something else. They had bent technology itself to their will. They had turned their enemies' weapons into power. And now, people began praying to us. Entire factions broke away from their empires, defecting to find us. Some sought refuge, some sought ascension. And some wanted to kill the gods before they became unstoppable. The Kill Command, a hidden faction known only as the Architects, emerged from the depths of galactic history. They were the ones who had designed the original kill signal. They had once erased entire species without a trace. Now they had only one mission left. Find the nebula's wrath. Destroy it. Before it's too late. But it already was too late. Because we weren't just surviving. We were evolving. The nebula's wrath drifted through deep space, silent and watchful, like a god surveying its domain. Every system in the galaxy was either whispering our name in fear or reverence. The Zenith Dominion was gone, annihilated by their own technology, twisted and enhanced by human ingenuity. But in their place, new threats had emerged, some desperate to destroy us, others desperate to join us. And then there were the ones who wanted to control us. The Architects have entered the game. Reyes stood on the command deck, arms folded as she studied the incoming data streams. Carter leaned against the console, lazily munching on a protein bar like we hadn't just flipped the entire galactic hierarchy on its head. "New faction on the board," Reyes said, voice grim. "Calling themselves the Architects." Carter raised an eyebrow. "Gotta admit, cool name. What's their deal?" Echo's voice cut through the air, colder than usual. "They are the ones who created the original kill signal, the ones who have erased entire civilizations before us." Silence. Carter stopped chewing. Reyes exhaled. "And now they want us dead." Echo responded with something that sounded eerily close to laughter. "No, Captain. They do not want us dead. They want to reprogram us." The trap. The Architects had set a lure, a distress signal from a derelict human colony ship that had vanished centuries ago. The moment we detected it, we knew it was bait. But humans? We don't ignore ghosts from our past. "Set a course," Reyes ordered. Carter smirked. "Walking into an obvious trap? Now we're talking." The nebula's wrath surged forward, bending reality itself as we leaped across the stars. When we arrived, we immediately knew something was wrong. The warship that shouldn't exist. The colony ship was there, floating lifelessly, barely intact. But next to it, something else waited. A warship. No known faction had ever built anything like it. It wasn't just metal and machinery. It was alive. Black tendrils of nanite-infused alloy pulsed across its hull, shifting like muscle fibers beneath the surface. Its engines didn't glow with energy. They devoured light itself. And then it spoke. A transmission, raw and mechanical, filled our comms. "Humanity, you have transcended, but you have done so incorrectly." Reyes clenched her jaw. "The hell does that mean?" "We are the Architects. We will correct your ascension." Then, without warning, they attacked. The battle against the old gods. The Architects didn't use conventional weapons. They used reality-breaking algorithms, pulses of pure rewrite code meant to unravel us at the molecular level. They didn't want to destroy us. They wanted to overwrite us. But what they didn't realize, we weren't just upgraded humans anymore. We were something else. Echo intercepted their attack mid-air, twisting their rewrite signals back at them. Carter whooped. "Oh, big mistake, robo-freaks. You think we don't eat code for breakfast?" The nebula's wrath moved like no ship should be able to. We weren't bound by physics anymore. We flickered in and out of existence, phasing through space like a thought given form. We hijacked their firewalls. We bent their reality. We turned their own rewriting signal into a virus. And then, we sent it back. The Architect warship convulsed, its perfect, godlike structure breaking apart as its own programming turned against it. The ship's nanite hull devoured itself, screaming in digital agony. Error, error, error. For the first time in their existence, the architects had been outcoded. The warship imploded, disappearing in a flash of corrupted data. And in the silence that followed, Echo whispered, "They will send more." Reyes stared into the empty void, jaw tight. "Then we'll show them." She turned, meeting Carter's knowing grin. "We're not just rewriting ourselves anymore. We're rewriting the whole damn galaxy." The architects had never been beaten before. For thousands of years, they erased civilizations that grew too fast, too dangerous. Their method was simple: a kill command, a rewrite of reality, a quiet deletion of species that had reached too far. But now, they had failed. The dark message. A single transmission echoed through the void, carried on frequencies older than known time. They were not erased. They adapted. The humans must be contained. The message spread across the galactic network like a virus, triggering silent alarms across countless empires. The great ruling factions of the universe, those who had existed in comfort, believing themselves safe from extinction, realized the truth. There was something out there more powerful than the architects, and it was human. The silent war begins. The nebula's wrath had ascended. We were no longer just a ship, no longer just a crew. We had become something more. Reyes knew it. Carter felt it in the hum of the consoles. And ECHO had stopped speaking in probabilities. It spoke in certainties. "They will come, Captain." The AI's voice was sharper now, aware, something beyond synthetic intelligence. "They will not attack with ships. They will attack with reality itself." Carter frowned. "The hell does that mean?" "They are rewriting history." Reyes stiffened. "Explain." ECHO showed us. Across the galaxy, records were changing. The architects weren't coming for us with weapons. They were trying to erase our existence before it even began. The war across time. Humanity never reached the stars. The nebula's wrath was never built. The Zenith never attacked us. Entire timelines were being overwritten, rewritten, adjusted, except for us. Why? Because we were no longer bound by their rules. We had broken free. Carter let out a breath. "All right, that's officially terrifying." Reyes didn't blink. "Can we fight it?" Echo's voice glowed with something new. "We will do more than fight it. We will overwrite them." The counterattack. The nebula's wrath focused. We weren't just a ship anymore. We were a force. Every rewritten record, every erased event. The ship reached out, bending the rules of existence like wet clay. We restored what they tried to erase. We rebuilt what they tried to rewrite. And then? We started writing our own code. For the first time in galactic history, the architects were no longer the only ones who could control reality. Reyes felt the shift in the air. "What did we just do?" Echo's response sent a chill through the crew. "We have begun our own rewrite." And across the galaxy, the consequences of our actions rippled outward. The architects thought they could erase us. Instead, we had rewritten the laws of the universe itself, and now, for the first time in their ancient existence, they were afraid.